Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the SilverSilk and More channel. Neelay Patel here, your design guru for lack of a better term, for all things creative and fun here at SilverSilk and More. I'm excited about today's project. I've never really explored Kumihimo a whole lot before. I know of it, and I know how to. I get the concept of braiding different chords together. I've just never tried it myself, and so I thought this would be an excellent project to put together for my workshop and to teach it to you guys. At least, I will say this: I am not a Kumihimo expert to any capacity. So you might see a few like screwy willy-nilly things happening, but I think we're just here to have fun and try and teach each other new things. And I did end up with a pretty stellar bracelet by the time I was finished, and so I'm excited to share that with you. I'm gonna flip my camera over so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. Um, it's really pretty of how these different colors that are very metallic sheen because it's silver silk wire kind of braid together into this amazing cord. And in the kit that you guys grabbed, which I still have some extra kits left over at silversilkonline.com if you want to grab more, um, this is enough materials to make a complete bracelet. However, you could forego the bracelet altogether and take the clasp out and stuff and use it in a different part of the necklace, and instead use this as a focal chain to hang your pendant off of. So there's a lot of different ways to dress this up or dress this down or keep it simple. That's totally up to you guys, however you want to do it. And I will say braiding it takes hardly no time, but what I'm going to do is show how to like how to start it, how to get that braid started, and then I'm going to work halfway through and I'm going to finish out one side of it for you guys because the other side is just a rinse and repeat of that first side. But it's really simple and quite easy to put together, so do not worry. If I can do it, I know you guys can, and I've not Kumihimo'd before. I'm going to say hi to a few folks that have tuned in over from YouTube and Facebook. Hello, Miss Leanne, over from Facebook. We've got Robin in the house, Stephanie, Jennifer Miller, Wendy, Donna, Miss Joan Dice on the back end, helping out with links and stuff. Miss Melanie is here. Mari, good to see you. All my besties are in the house. So glad you guys can join in today. If you wouldn't mind giving a quick share of this video to your respective creative groups that would enjoy learning some willy-nilly Kumihimo, that would be great. And if you are enjoying this video, please give it a big thumbs up over on YouTube. All right, let us get started with just trying to figure out what tools we need. So I'm going to scooch this over to the side. And I'm going to bring out my chain nose pliers that I'll be using for this project. This will be really just to use, will be used to attach the clasp and stuff at the end. So I'm just going to keep it out to the side. I've got my Lindstrom cutters for cutting silver silk and stuff as we do it, really just silver silk for this project. So have those out to the side. We have got some E6000 glue, but you can use super glue or any sort of jewelry glue within the end cap to hold your piece. The difference is really the drying time. With super glue, it dries a little bit quicker. You know, you can get in and out within like 30 minutes of drying. With E6000 or any sort of like silicone-based glue, you really need a lot of curing time. So I recommend overnight if you're going to use this stuff. And so just wrap it up all at the end, let it dry overnight, and you're ready to go and wear it the next morning. Hi, Lisa, over from YouTube. Okay, you will also need some sort of a weight. This will help to keep your bracelet spiral consistent as you're braiding it. I've got actually a puck that I have used for my, now that's a loom. No, I'm sorry. Now that's a, what was it? Now I can't think of it. It's a Brenda Schwader tool. But these are one of those metal pucks. Now that's a jig. Just came to me. Now that's a jig, but which is no longer sadly in production. But this is one of those metal pucks from it that just provides just enough weight. But you could use something like nail polish, those little glass bottles and stuff that it comes in. About that weight is probably sufficient enough, just depending on what you have. I've used pliers before to hang it off of it, and it really depends on your work surface too. I've got a very shallow surface, so I need to keep the weight a little bit more minimal and focused, so I'm not tapping it all over the place for you guys. But if you've got a little bit more area to work with and you can kind of drop it down, you can think about a weight that you can suspend it from some wire. Um, and here I've just overlapped it and put it into my weight, in which I'll just create a small hook here that I'll hook in my beginning part of my Kumihimo into as I'm working on it. So I'll set this out to the side, but important to have some weight. All right, you have within your kit, or and if you don't, you might have this in your stash of bead things, a Kumihimo disc. This has 32 digits on it, as you can see. And while that is intimidating, trust me, I know, like because all the numbers are extra, right? Really, what I want you guys to focus and pay attention to is these dots, because that's where we're going to align our silver silk chain to. But don't be afraid of the disc. It's friendly, I promise. Especially with the technique that I'm about to teach you, it is very beginner friendly. Okay, so have that out to the side, and then we've got our silver silk end caps, which have a 6 millimeter inner diameter. So have those out. I put mine in gold just because I'm going with the color scheme of the beautiful fall colors here, which I know we're over fall, but it's like 70 degrees outside today in Oklahoma. Maybe not 70, it's like 60. And so I'm still not in the weather like of winter cold quite yet. Still feeling on the fall. I've got a gold clasp out here as well with some jump rings. And I've got four colors of silver silk 3 needle. I've not done a whole lot of content with 3 needle quite yet, so this is pretty exciting for me because one thing that sort of sparked the inspiration for creating this chain and bringing it back to the silver silk family was the idea of making Kumihimo braid with it. And so this was like a very perfect step into not only creating the chains, but also just this project itself. Okay, that is about the only materials that you'll need, believe it or not. So really just a few things. I'm going to half my chain here and split it. And I'm gonna split it, but I'm not going to cut it. What am I trying to say? Just fold it in half. That's really all. That's all you need to do. Try to make overcomplicated instructions here. Okay, once you fold it in half and you kind of found the center, because I'm going to gather up all of these, then you're ready to start putting it onto your Kumihimo board. So I'm going to do silver up top in in the slot between 1 and 32, or on the right side of the dot. And I'm going to place the other one. Well, maybe I should just take these out for a second because I know as long as I keep my mark where the middle part is, that's all I care about. Okay, between 16 and 15, also on the right side of the dot. Okay, I'm going to pick another color, and I believe the center was right there. I'm going to go between 31 and 32, and 17 and 16. So I'm basically on either side of the dot, on either side, both sides. And once I've done that, and I know that my wire is all even, I can get myself set up on the next set of dots. So I believe the center was about right here, and I'm going to use this green first to go between 23, 24, and 8 and 9. So I'm on the left side of the dots now. And then over here, I'm going to go between 24, 25, and 7 and 8, or on the right side of the dot. So I want to make sure that my wires are even. It looks like my brown wire is off just a little bit, so I'm going to scooch it up. This is like the time to do this because later on you won't get that opportunity. Okay, and then I did my green, so I just want to double check. It is a little bit off, so I need to move it up just a smidge. Perfect. Okay, so at this point, I've got my board set up. I'm gonna make sure that the logo is facing up so that way I have a point of orientation. And what I'm gonna do is grab my weight. And at the moment, I'm gonna have to undo my hook just a little bit so I can slip it through everything. Okay, just like that. And now I have a way to make sure that it's drawn down. So everything looks nice and tidy and organized. I've got my weight on and I've got my wires all sorted out here. So the idea here is to go from the top right, and I'm right-handed, by the way. And so if you're left-handed, just think about swapping directions. But I'm going to start with the right side first, and then I'll do my best to explain if you're left-handed as well. But from a right hand's perspective, you're going to go from 1 to 15, or between 14 and 15, and it'll be on the right side of the one that's next to the dot. Conversely, you're going to go from this orange one here between 16 and 17, and you're going to go on the left side. And I'm not quite sure what this pattern is going to turn out like, so because this is going to be very exciting, and I don't remember how I mixed up the colors last time. So keeping it this even, I'm curious to see how it's going to turn out. And so what we're going to do is now flip this to where my next set of wires are ready to be braided. Okay, same principle here. We're going to take our top wire, bring it down to the right side of the wire that's already there. And then we're going to take our leftmost wire and bring it up on the left side of our last wire that was already there. So now you just kind of keep turning and braid it along as you go here. So take your rightmost wire after you've turned it, bring it down on the right side. Take the leftmost wire and bring it directly up. Okay. You're going to get to a point where this becomes very much repetitive and very, I don't know, therapeutic in a way. So again, right to right, and then left to left. And then keep turning it in a clockwise direction. Now, if you're left-handed, you will do the same pattern, except it'll just be flipped. So you'll be going, instead of the right side, you'll be starting with the left side and going left to left and then right to right, but then you'll be turning it in a counterclockwise direction. Okay, but this is not the issue or the case this time. We are just doing the one motion over and over again. Oh, Leanne is asking, how long of strands are you using? That's a great question, Leanne. These are to make a bracelet. This is intended to make a bracelet, so I am using a 3-foot spool of each color, each of the 4 colors. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue knotting along here, or I guess braiding along, and seeing what magic happens. And you might hear my weight hitting the table occasionally. This is great if you have some lap room to spread your tools and materials out and make sure that the weight is completely down. I actually have my camera a little bit higher than normal as well. But you could see that my braid is happening and it's turning out a little different, but I'm not mad about it in terms of the color combo. Okay. I love it when seeing like all my colors are in their respective color blocks, but we're gonna mess that all up now. Okay, you can see that the numbers at this point don't matter much. It's just about repetition and remembering where you also first left off. If you decide to set this down and you come back later and want to finish it or work on it, the way to start is just to look for the overlapping wire or cord that is within your Kumihimo braid. If you know that this is pointing and overlapping to the right side, then you'll have to pick up that top wire and push it over to start the braid. So just remember to watch and or look out for that and keep an eye if you decide to set this project down. Okay. Becomes pretty fun after a while, though. I do enjoy this braid. Oh, you could see that my little color mix is happening there. And it really does depend on how you arrange the colors within your wire there. You see, I kind of set this down, and I believe this is where I left off because I could see that wire overlapping. So let's do this. Okay. I'm hoping this one will look like confetti. And I can also imagine, like, with the 3 needle, this is great too because you'll still get the silver silk texture. But the wire or the cording itself is thin enough to where you can add some beads onto it and try and braid those in as well if you wanted to. I will say I'm not a Kumihimo pro. And so the idea of adding beads is like that next level for me. But at the moment, I'm just enjoying using these cords and materials to create the simple braid that I am. It's the little things in life. Hi, Becky. Hi, Zach. Oh, all my besties are tuning in. So good to see you guys. Okay. So I'm going to see if I can get halfway done with you guys as we're crafting along here. This is so fun. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I love that it's just a simple motion over and over again. And once I get the rhythm of this, I don't have to think about it too much. Okay, there we go. It's also nice to work with 4 different colors. Another option is just to use all of the same colors or just a couple different colors. But I like the different color mixes because it helps to keep everything, all the motion and all the different, I guess, how you're braiding the colors. It just keeps it a little bit more organized and easy to see and remember. Okay, this is looking great. Ooh, look at that. That is gonna be one cool, robust little chain. I love that texture. So pretty. Jennifer says, "This is my 1 a.m. project." For when you can't sleep, Jennifer? How funny. Actually, now that she mentions it, this is a great project if you can't sleep at night and you need some sort of a mindless activity with beautiful rewards, of course, but just something to kind of fall back asleep to. This would be the one. Oh, Zach is asking what stringing material this is. So Zach, this is the 3 needle mesh that is, or the 3 needle chain that's available on silversilkonline.com. I still have kits available in this. The kit's at a great price and slightly discounted with all the different materials included. And you get the tool for included with it as well. But the 3 needle chain, maybe Joan can pop in a link of where to grab that from, if you don't mind, Joan. Good questions, y'all. Oh, thank you. Erlene says, love it. Thank you. Carolyn Bishop. There's a name from Facebook that I recognize. That green wire with the brown is so pretty, isn't it, though? So gorge. Oh, I lost my place, but I'm looking for that overlapping wire. See that gold over the brown, or over the green, sorry. And it's over the brown too, I guess. This helps me remember that I need to cross this wire over. Or wait a minute. Yeah, no, I did that right. Sorry, I fooled myself there for a second. Wait a minute, did I? Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I was like, that don't look right. Boom, but that is right. That is, okay, that is right. I think I'm losing my mind. I just pulled it a little too tight. This is also one of those projects that you probably shouldn't be doing as a live class, and you should be doing at 1 a.m. That way you don't mess it up. Okay. This way. So pretty. Okay, so also I should have also said that 3 of these wires are chain colors that I don't carry in the normal collection. Um, and so I was really just wanting to make something extra special for the Beatscapade kits. But I do carry a ton of different colors over on the SilverSilk and More website that you can choose from should you want to try this technique out for yourself. So pretty. Okay, we are moving right along here. Yeah, Robin is saying that it goes pretty fast once you get the groove of it. That is absolutely true. Robin, have you done Kumihimo before? I'm curious to know. So many colors. So pretty. I also like how small this disc is because anything bigger might intimidate me. I know that there's all sorts of different shaped ones, and so I'm really just like, tip of the iceberg here with all the different types of braids that I could get into. Robin has done Kumihimo with her with her granddaughters. That's so special. I love that. So I'm guessing a ton of friendship bracelets, right? Teresa says, love Kumihimo, have made many in the past. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely a fun technique that I'm enjoying. All right, so I am just like completely like chugging along here in my little Kumihimo train. And I need to probably increase or decrease the size of my weight here so that I can have a little more room to braid, continue my braid here. Okay. We'll go down a little more, and then I'm going to show you how to end it. Oh, hi, Bonnie. Welcome to the party. Becky says, I love meditation crafts. I know. That's why I always watched Bob Ross back in the day. Still do sometimes if I need to fall asleep. But also just the way that his voice is so soothing, his paintings are gorgeous, and sometimes just having that nice quiet energy and meditation and just being absorbed into it is so good for the soul. Also, I'm a little off. I'm going to move my cords over because I feel like this is weirdly aligned. There we go. I just needed some space. Okay. And yet again, it's like weird alignment. I don't know. Maybe it was just me that was off. Okay. Go from this first one down, up. Becky says, you're my Bob Ross for the day. I love that. I don't think I can quite compare, but in the vein of having a simple and meditative craft or fine art or whatever, I will take it. Because that is a major compliment. All right. We're just moving right along in this gorgeous braid. Nothing can go wrong. Everything's great. Having a great day. I really could just keep going and going and going, but I feel like I know I need to stop at some point. But, I've got a pretty good size bracelet there. I did make a little mistake, a little boo-boo over here that I can clearly see within my braid, and it was probably just because I wasn't paying full attention. But I got it wrapped back around, and it started to become nice and larger of a braid there again. But overall, not bad. It's one of those mistakes that I see it, but nobody else will really like be that close to it anyway. So overall, I'm happy with this. So why don't we take this off of the Kumihimo board for now? I'll put it back on later and finish this out at my own time. But I wanted to show you guys how to edit, not edit, how to finish this design, how to edit this design. If only things were like Photoshop these days. So when I take it out, I've got a nice clean end here, which is going to be great for putting it into my cord end. On this other side, you won't have that luxury because you've got all these different lengths of wires to work with. So in the interest of that, what I can probably do is just actually cut this off so I could show you how that works. Because once you're done braiding, you just want to be up right at to the cord that you've created. Give it a nice clean cut, and then use your chain nose pliers to pluck out any of those little wire remnant pieces. Those are going to definitely get in the way of gluing, and we do not want those there. So as many as you can, just shake them out. You can see I've got a nice little like collection here of them now. And what you do is you just sort of pinch these all together. They're at the end. Your braiding might come a little undone, but just try and keep it as consistently the same size as possible. Once you've done that, you can then just sort of measure your end cap over the knitted wires, which that looks great. They all fit in quite well, as you can see. So at this point, I'm ready to just apply the glue and let it dry overnight. So here we go. I will need to probably stitch in a weight back into it once I've let this dry and cure overnight. That way I can continue the braid to the end. But we'll just do a nice dollop of glue there. Stick in my braid. And what I do is I also just sort of turn the end cap over the knitted wires. That way it's sort of screwed in all together, you know? And then this is ready to dry. So at this point, after it's been, cured and it's dried and all that stuff, you can add on your jump rings and your clasp pretty easily simply by opening up your jump ring and then pushing it through or attaching it into your end cap. Now I'm being very careful because I have not had sufficient drying time quite yet, but just to give you guys the idea of how it works. There we go. I got a little bit of it in. Okay, I haven't decided if I should put in my lobster claw or not at this point, but again, I'm just gonna leave it as is because I'm worried that that's gonna pop out, but you'll simply just meet those seams together and it's attached. So at some point, I'll be putting this back onto my braid board, but I wanted to give you guys that idea of how to braid this together into a fun little cluster of colors. Depending on where you put your colors on the actual Kumihimo board is what determines what it's going to look like, which is kind of a fascinating statement in itself. If you're using just a couple colors, you're going to get a very like you can easily spot where the spiral is, right? Because I used so many different colors today and I placed them all over the board, I got basically what looks like confetti because it's all over the place with the colors, and I think that that's such a cool thing, though. And I can't remember what combination I did last time or where I put it to get this spiral, to be honest, but I think a little bit of that is just gonna be experimental work. Um, and I'm using the same exact braid and everything, it's just depending on where you put it on your Kumihimo board is going to get you, that sort of spiral or confetti effect. Pretty neat, very fun to experiment with, and I'm looking forward to finishing this design. Hopefully it'll stay consistent. I can get it back on the board where it was before. But otherwise, I hope you guys have had a great class. Oh, we have questions, Neela. Yes, bring on the questions. Joan, maybe you can read them to me even better.
I was going to say that'll be quicker. Okay,
Yeah.
how long do you think the bracelet can be with the 3 foot lengths of chain?
I was able to get it to about 8 inches, believe it or not. So like I used up of probably about a foot to get this much, and this is about 2.5 inches on my board. And don't forget the clasp is going to also, and the end cap is going to add about an inch extra to your Kumihimo braid. So you can get about a 9 inch, like full length, at full length bracelet, which I know that's like kind of like gigantic for a bracelet, but you can kind of crop it down from there.
So that'd make a great centerpiece for a necklace too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
that's what this one did too.
Um, can you add a bead before you have a chain go to the other side of the disc?
Yes. So, but the thing is, it's going to be lopsided if you don't balance out that one bead with other beads around it. So if you're going to do a cluster of beads, I would probably add a bead to like 4 sides just to balance it. So like a 1 bead per chain. if that makes any sense. And then you braid it together at the same time.
Okay. And if I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, Sheljo said you did a project where you used both clockwise and counterclockwise. When would you do this? She said it was like one color was clockwise and another color was counterclockwise.
Yeah, I think I was showing how to braid 4 capture chains together, and what I was just really doing was moving my disc this way and that way. That particular braid wasn't as complex as this one, and so what I should have done was just keep going one direction with it to make sense.
And in
I'm
that one, you only had 4 strands instead of 8 strands, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Which I need to revisit that project with braiding capture chain because that was a fun project. But I think I would probably teach that a little differently to make it a bit more easy to understand. This one, you just move in the one direction all the time. If you're right-handed, you just do it clockwise. If you're left-handed, go counterclockwise.
Sounds easy enough.
Yeah. There are lots of other tutorials that are not taught by me, that are out on the internet that teaches you Kumihimo disc braiding, or even written materials that I would encourage going out and looking at. I just kind of downloaded you guys on the basics of what I've learned up to this point. And but I think, part of learning is also just acquiring other types of knowledge out there that can either teach you in a better way or teach you in a different way that will help your silver silk braiding journey go even further. Okay, well, I guess that was all the questions, and I appreciate the guest appearance from Joan. So, she's laughing in the back end. I am going to leave you guys hopefully with a fun, creative new idea for using Silver Silk 3-needle chain. And I'll be back again this evening with another fabulous tutorial with Cassandra Spicer for doing some not bead weaving, actually, because the picture is quite deceptive, which I'm looking forward to her tutorial. We're going to be basically putting together a bunch of different types and styles of beads with beading wire. So I'm just very curious on how that's going to work. So you guys will want to join me for that. All righty. Well, I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you again soon, I am sure. Big hugs to you out there, and I can't wait to see what you create. Mwah.